what you're thinking. What the fuck? Yeah, no, I know, me too. Here we have a 2015 Camaro V6 with a manual 6-speed transmission, and that would mean that it has the LFX engine. So, it's not perfect, but engine runs, so I'm told. So right now I'm basically just trying to clear out this rebar and some of the front clip, so I can make sure the belt's okay before I do start it up for real. I've just been working at getting all this crashed matter out of the way because I want to verify that nothing is in the way of the serpentine belt when I go to start it, because I would like to not damage anything. So I'm just gonna grab the battery out of the charger and we'll start this shit up. I checked the front. Nothing is touching the serpentine belt. Everything looks free from any debris, so I think we're good to go. Odds are it's just gonna come pouring out the top. Oh shit. Understandably so. That was actually power steering that you saw go everywhere. At the scene of the accident, I assumed that all of the coolant leaked out of the engine because the bottom plastic section of the radiator was broke before I could even get to it. And then that's why that whine started to get louder and louder as I let the car run, because the power steering pump was then dry. So, it runs. The clips you're about to see are me modifying the subframe of the Isuzu in order to fit the LFX motor. So obviously at that point I've removed it. The issue I'm dealing with is it's an all aluminum V6, so the oil pan is cast aluminum, and I don't have a square wave TIG machine, so it made more sense to modify the subframe since that was steel than try to cut it and take it somewhere and have it welded. So I had to create some box section to work around the oil pan. So that's what you're about to see. Wow, that sucked. Jesus. Let's try this. Let's try this. Where is my wire brush? There we go. Oh, bitch ass. Yo, why does it keep doing that? Okay, one more time. Yeah, okay. What's going on here? Something is wrong. What is it? Okay, my theory is my tip was binding. How about now? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna guess. Okay. So this is a very exact science, as you can tell.
Yeah, that's sure. I'd do that.
All right, voiceover time. So, the welding table. So here's a picture of that. Finish that up. Use some 1" by 2" mild steel. Cost about $160 if I'm not mistaken. After that, I started working on tearing down the subframe of the Camaro so I could remove the motor. So here's some pictures of that, and here's the motor after I got it out of the car and on the ground, sat there for a couple days. Then I made this little cart so I could wheel it around while I was constantly pushing it in and out of the truck, getting a test fit. So here's a picture of it. First test fit I got into the truck. So let's talk about the reason why I bought this motor really quick. So it's an LFX, which is a 3.6 liter V6, high features, so it has VVT, special whatever, the whole deal. Point is, it's all aluminum, and after all is said and done, it weighs about 10 pounds more than the iron inline 4 that came with the truck. So you combine that fact with it making around 320 horsepower stock, you're in the ballpark of a pretty rad mini truck that can handle pretty well too. So with that being said, the goal was to get the motor as far back and as low in the engine bay as possible to try to get the weight distribution as close to 50-50 and also the center of gravity as low as possible. So with that being said, the subframe needed to be adjusted as said earlier in this video. So once the subframe was modified, I could get the engine into the place that I wanted it, and once that was done, it was time to make the motor mounts. So the motor mounts were actually way smaller than I thought they were going to be. Here's a picture of them before they were welded in, and once I got those, then I made sure that the transmission was aligned with the frame, and then I went ahead and whipped up a transmission mount seen here. So now the next step was to start working on fitment. So largest things go first because brake lines, AC lines, power steering lines, and wiring, those all can be catered to any location theoretically versus, for instance, the steering column that needs to be in a set location. So the task right now is working on the steering. As for the Camaro, I'm working on stripping it down and parting it out, and one of the big allures of buying the Camaro whole is that when parting it out, there is a chance that I can make all of my money back, if not make a profit off of this whole ordeal, which is pretty cool. So right now, in the present, I have the dash out, the engine harness, and the dash harness out. And my plan is once I get the body harness off, I'm going to just take all the components they were connected to, plug them in on the floor, and then just start stripping out things I don't need. So I'm hoping in conjunction with HV tuners, I can get everything working correctly on a very minimalist custom wiring harness. So that's the plan. And stay tuned. I really want to try to document this stuff better once I get a good tripod and a battery pack so I don't lose footage. So yeah, that's what's going on. See you guys soon.